Hi, this is Fabian from Life-Sparring.com. So usually I'm running a podcast and a blog on self-improvement, but I also often touch on topics like quantified self, connected devices, everything related to this. And somehow the Chessnut Air brought me a little bit on this tangent. So I backed the Chessnut Air, the connected chessboard, on Kickstarter. And because I live in Hong Kong, I got it relatively early compared to some other backers. So I did an unboxing video and shared my first impression and got quite positive responses to the video, quite a lot of views and comments and questions. So I thought I'd do a bit of a bigger review since I already had some time now with the board and played around with it. So I pretty much will try to walk you through the basic functions and summarize a little bit my impressions. I also have a separate video. I have the unboxing video, of course. If you haven't seen it, have a look. And I have a separate video where I'm just playing a live match on chess.com to show you the dynamic, how to connect to chess.com, and also how the actual figure recognition and moves work. I think without further ado, just let's jump right in. Overall, my first impression was and is that the Chessnut Air feels pretty much like a finished product. And that's not a given with Kickstarter projects. I received quite some Kickstarter projects that were at best rough prototypes, beta versions, but definitely not a finished consumer product. The Chessnut Air feels pretty finished. Other than a few little glue marks on the side, I do not have much to complain about the workmanship. So it's a wooden frame, inside a plastic board. Reason for why it's plastic, it's because every single square has a small LED. And there's of course the mechanism below, the mechanism to recognize the figures. On the side you have this polished metal panel with the Bluetooth LED, the battery status LED, another status LED, the on button, it feels pretty finished and it feels pretty solid. It's a really heavy board. They measured 1.5 kg, I measured 1.46 kg or something, so slightly lighter than what they had on their website, but still it's really heavy. It's solid. And same goes for the figures. So they are plastic, but they are weighted. They have a nice feel to them. And also the size is not bad. Of course, the whole board is 40% smaller than a tournament chessboard. But I think for hobby players, it's a good size. And for me, based in Hong Kong, very little space, it's actually, maybe even better than a tournament chessboard. So about the whole physical aspects of the board and everything, there's only one thing I really didn't like. I said that in an unboxing video, and that's the packaging design. So, that's how the box looks after I got the board out. And that's pretty sad. It's a $100 plus product, and it's a chessboard. It's not a Lego set that you set up and then you never kind of put it back in the box. It's normally something, you maybe would not always have outside. You would like to store it back in a box, especially also the figures. And I don't know, I think it would have really not been a big effort, and especially also not much in additional costs to make a nice storage box that can also keep the figures nice and safe. But well, they didn't do it. They have room to improve there. But other than that, I think, as I said, first impression was pretty good. As for the functionality of the board, in general, you can play, of course, completely by yourself and use it as a normal physical chessboard. Then you can switch the board on, but do not connect it to any app, and record the match that you are playing. So the board has memory for 50 matches around. I haven't tested this out. I believe the developers on this one, it shouldn't be too difficult to store 50 matches. And later you can transfer those matches to the desktop app. You can't right now move them or import them into the mobile phone app. Maybe this comes later. Right now, it's only to the desktop app. Yeah, then of course you can pair the board via Bluetooth to your mobile phone app, or via Bluetooth or cable to your desktop app. And once you are connected, you can play the AI of the app. So the AI is based on Stockfish, the open source chess algorithm. Installed are Stockfish 11 and Stockfish 13. I was a bit confused because one video mentioned 13, the website mentioned 11. At the end, I saw in the desktop app both are installed, and it looks as if Stockfish version 11 is the one that's set as default. So I assume that is the same for the mobile phone client. So the good thing is you don't even need to be online to play with the AI. Somebody asked me when I did the unboxing about this, and then I set my phone to flight mode, and you can play actually in flight mode. But that being said, of course, it's more fun if you're also connected to the internet, because then you can use the board to play on chess.com and Lead Chess. You can solve puzzles that you get from those sites, and you can also broadcast any match that you are playing to the internet. So let's take a look. I mean, I'm paired here. Let's just open the Chessnut app on my iPhone. So I'm an iPhone user. I'm looking here at the iOS version. If you want to know how the Android version is, ask somebody who knows about that stuff. I'm an iPhone user for quite some years, and I didn't bother to kind of borrow an Android phone and try it out there. The same goes later when I talk about the desktop app. I have a PC, I don't have a Mac, so I can't really say anything about the Mac OS version. So if you open the Chessnut app, that's how it looks if you have opened it a bunch of times. On the right-hand side, next to the logo, you see the Bluetooth logo. If you click on this one, that's the device info. So there you see the name of your Chessnut. I just call it Chessnut Air. You see the battery status. You have the option to switch the LEDs off if you want to. I would not recommend that because you kind of need the LEDs. You can switch the beep off. That's maybe something you want to do. I mean, the whole sound module capability is a single beep. It's not necessarily that great. And you see the firmware. About the battery, I tried it. I put it to test. Chessnut Tech said they would expect 10 hours of use time. I got 13 hours out of mine before it died. So actually more than what they claimed. Pretty solid. I mean, during the last half an hour or so before it completely died, I had a few Bluetooth disconnects, so I think it was a bit shaky on that side. I also had a bit of issues at the beginning. My battery counter never went to 100%. It always was stuck on 75%, and that's another point. The battery goes down in 25% chunks, so it's not like percent by percent. It's 100, 75, 50, 25 dead. Yeah, that's pretty much about this. On the left-hand side of the Chessnut logo is the general menu. Under Edit Profile, you can change your name for the Chessnut app. So you can play without being logged in, but you need to be logged in to share and use the online function. My chess games normally should show your matches. It does. So you see the matches that I played on Chessnut. And what doesn't really work is it doesn't really pull matches from chess.com. I don't know why this is not working. Maybe that's still something that's not completely worked out. Under Connect Accounts, you connect your chess.com and Lead Chess accounts. So you put in the passwords, etc., so that you later can go online there. Under language, you can choose the language, but you can choose between English and English. So far there is only English, and there's nothing you can do. And About Us is just kind of their version, their website. Of course, you can sign out here too, which I will not do. Then in the main page, you always have there's 3 options: play game, online, study. And below you have another, like the recent record. So this is kind of the same as you can see under my game. If you go on play game, you have again 2 options. You can play the computer, the AI, which, as I said, is Stockfish, or you can play Friends. So Friends is, of course, is just a normal live game. You choose standard or chess 960, like Fischer random chess, and then you choose the time mode. If you play against the computer, you can have the same options, of course, and you set the level of the AI. So yeah, I would say on level 1, 2, it plays pretty damn random. On level 6 and up, it got much more competitive for me. Just for demonstration, I maybe can start a match here. I will not play it fully. If you want to see a full match played with Chessnut, then you can see the separate video that I recorded earlier today where I play a blitz match on chess.com. So let me start the match here. So you see the board comes up, time is running, I'm white, I start my typical Queen's Gambit move. Yeah, so now in the app itself, I can here share, and here I can share the URL, and that would be then a live URL where everybody who has the link can follow the match in real time. You can also copy PNG, FEN, just the notations, and copy it out into another software, etc. Yeah, you can get hints, you can switch the board at any time. So if I just do this, then the board is switched, and now he decides to play this. I can switch it back. Yeah, then pretty much he's playing against himself right now. So yeah, that's pretty much the mechanics. So I will not kind of go more into detail here. That's pretty much what you can do under play game. Then under online, it gets interesting. So Lead Chess and chess.com are your options right now. I think they also cover the biggest part, I think, of online chess. I personally play more on chess.com. And yeah, you can immediately start a match here and yeah, choose the time limit and play a match. I will not do this now. I'm not kind of risking valuable points. It's hard enough on my ranking on blitz matches is pretty low. So I don't want to lose more of those. But it's kind of just opening the app within the app. So that's, yeah, I was surprised. I didn't expect this. I thought kind of you would really just see it in the same way that you see the match if you are playing against AI. But it's opens chess.com or Lead Chess for that matter within the Chessnut app. Yeah, but I will not go into detail here. The match functions the same way. And as I said, I covered this in a separate video. Then study is actually pretty loaded, and it's much more than that. So study, you have multiple options. You have puzzles. So if I go to chess.com, it automatically brings me to the rated puzzle section. So I can't use the other ones. I mean, it doesn't make sense to use it for timed puzzle because you have to set the board every time. But yeah, I mean, maybe we go here for once and take a look at Lead Chess, just to show you how this one looks like. So yeah, you can connect here, and then now normally it should actually show me the position on the board. I think that worked better. I don't know why it didn't work on Lead Chess. So we can go back to here. So here you see kind of, it shows you in like where there's a LED, that means the figure needs to be changed. So you see kind of this one was wrong. This one needs to be here. So of course I need to look at the app because only by the LEDs, I still don't know which figure belongs where, but it kind of shows you, it lights up as long as something is missing or is too much. So if you have no more lights left, then everything is set the right way. Okay, there's a typical chess problem here. I have no idea how kind of that position would ever materialize in a match. There's still a queen. So yeah, that looks correct. See, no more LEDs here. And now white to move. So now I am trying to figure out what to do. And I guess I have it. White should be here. Let's check. King has to go to there. Then comes there with check. Queen has to take, and we take the queen. And yeah, I was correct. Yeah, okay, it was not the most challenging puzzle, but you see the dynamic works. Yeah, chess.com simply gives you the puzzle, and the board shows you what you have to set up to be correct, and then you just use it as an interface to put it in, and it works. It's fun. It's really fun, and it just gives you, of course, a different. I mean, if you don't mind looking just at your phone, then you can do it on the phone. But the board is just, it adds the physical component. It's so much more fun. I prefer it a lot. It's really nice. But again, right, it doesn't make sense for the timed puzzle challenges because just setting up the board would kill you already. So this is the part on the puzzles. Then the board editor. So the board editor is pretty much a multi-function tool to do a lot of different things. So what I can do is, right now, it immediately, you see, it recognizes the position that I'm in. So this is still the position I was in after doing the puzzle. And yeah, I can just from here either go into analysis mode, or I can continue from here. If I continue from here, I enter the play game mode, and now I can set up either I play with a friend or I play with a computer. I set the AI level, etc. I just turn the position that is on the board into a match, which is pretty neat. And then, of course, everything functions the same way as I just demonstrated. Alternatively, I can say analyze board. And now it loads Stockfish, and I'm not sure. It looks as if it pulls this actually from Lead Chess. Maybe some of the Lead Chess guys can kind of comment on this one, because I'm not so familiar with Lead Chess. But it looks as if this analysis board is actually not Stockfish out of the app from Chessnut, but it's actually the Lead Chess app itself. So the issue, and what I don't really like here with it, is I can't really interact with the board anymore. So yeah, Stockfish runs calculations and say what I should do. So it says now as white I should strike here, but you see there's no connection between the board and what I'm doing here. So somehow analysis is only happening in the app. And I think that this is most likely, as I said, I can only speculate. I have no idea about the technology behind it, but I believe it is indeed using the Lead Chess functionality, and there's still something kind of in the compatibility, in their access right, that they are not allowed or they can't really make this connection. Because it's weird, you can do puzzles, at least on chess.com properly. You can play matches on Lead Chess and chess.com, but yeah, why wouldn't you not kind of do analysis moves just in the same way? Very, very weird. But yeah, it is what it is. It doesn't work. Yeah, so in general, the board editor is pretty useful also for if you're getting disconnected to continue a match. So in principle, the match should be also saved under your last matches and you should be able to continue from there. But I realized that if I get disconnected, or like I played at night and then I switched it off and then the next morning I switched it back on, then yeah, often the position on the board was not identical than as if I opened the match in the app. So the only way then to continue was to use the board editor and just import the position as it is, and then just continue the match from there. But yeah, I said it now, I think a bunch of times. The figure recognition is flawless. It works. I never saw a mistake. It is also not super sensitive. So it's not complaining too much if you're not exactly in the center or something. So as long as you are really not hasty, as long as you are not like sliding figures, so never slide a figure, always lift it and place it. Yeah, if you're moving pawns or if you're moving other figures around, just try not to drag them or to slide them, because that can be easily misunderstood and nothing is worse. I tell you, at the beginning I lost 2 matches on chess.com because I wanted to strike a figure and it simply didn't recognize it and stopped 1 square before, and that sucks. I think that's pretty much what we covered here. And then under watch, you could actually watch live broadcast again only from Lead Chess and Chess and enter the chess player section of Lead Chess. But again, I can watch matches there, but I don't see any interaction between Lead Chess and the board. So for whatever reason, it's still not working yet. So I assume this might come later, but right now it doesn't show me kind of the moves on the board. So there's no connection with it. So it just becomes a normal physical board and everything happens in the app. And of course I can copy what I see in the app, but that's not the point of a connected chessboard, right? So that much about this. And under load PGN, you can actually import chess games. And I tried this in the mobile in the mobile app, just copy and pasting something from the chess.com mobile app into the Chessnut Air mobile app. It didn't work. For whatever reason, it always gives out some errors. However, when I'm in the chess.com desktop app or PC app, and then I download or archive matches, then it works. So then I could copy and paste it straight in. It recognized it. So it works, but there's some quirks maybe in the format that chess.com displays the PGN code in the app. Maybe some real expert can figure this one out, but the function itself works. And this is pretty much what you can do with the Chessnut Air mobile app. And I think there's not too much to say about it. So let me stop here and pull up the desktop app and show you how that one looks. Okay, so here I'm back looking at the desktop app of Chessnut. First thing you see, I'm cabled up because for whatever reason I am not able to connect my Chessnut Air to my notebook via Bluetooth. It's paired, it shows as paired, but there's just no connection, and there's also not the same connection menu, the same connection button that I have in the mobile app. So in the mobile app, never an issue, can easily connect. PC app, I just couldn't get it done. But just plugging in the USB cable is no problem. And you can see it right away on the main page of the app. You see your connection status here, and you see again the battery level. You see how many matches are actually saved on the board. So it's one match that I played offline just to try it out. Then what else do we have here? We have again a menu where you can edit your name and password. You see your imported game. So this is the difference. This is the game that you see kind of Yeah, 2016, so apparently the date is completely off. Don't know exactly where this is coming from, but yeah, this is the match that I imported just to kind of try it out. Also annoying in the desktop app, every time you want to go back to the home, it'll ask you, do you want to go back to your home page? Yes, I do want to go back to the home page. Then what else? UCI. So this is also interesting. Also, you don't have this on the mobile app, and that's why I'm showing at the end also the desktop app, because for whatever reason, there's quite some functionality in the desktop app that is not in the mobile app, and vice versa. So here you see there's Stockfish version 11, Stockfish version 13, and by default it seems to be kind of ordered. So the top one seems to be the default one, and we see this in a bit. So here you can also upload another UCI. Then yeah, language, you can't even click on it, right? We saw in the mobile app it's only English available. Here you can't even click on it, and if you click on About Us, it just opens a browser with the website. And again, you can log out here. Then here, versus computer or a friend. So that's also fun, right? I mean, in the mobile app, it's called Play Game. Here it's versus computer or friend. So why do they not do the same naming? This menu it looks completely different, but it's essentially the same as in the mobile app, with one exception, that you can actually here choose between the UCIs that you have installed. So default is Stockfish version 11, but you can easily change to Stockfish v13. And if you would download another UCI, you should be probably just able to choose from there. So the rest is the same, so I don't have to go into detail. Play online, also the same. So yeah, okay, it's exactly, yeah, so it tells me the board is already set up. I can start a match anytime. So I don't want to do this. I covered this in a previous video, but yeah, it works the same. Board editor, that's a weird one, because in the board editor, all you can do is you can import here FEN, and of course you can import the board, so whatever you do is immediately displayed, but you do not have like the other options that you had in the other apps. So it was only FEN. I don't know like why it is so different from the menu on the mobile phone. And game record is your game record. And yeah, if you have seen the part that I covered on the mobile app, then you see that the whole study part is completely missing. So there are no puzzles, there is no analysis, it's all gone here. So I don't know, like you can set the UCI and you can import the games from the offline games from the chessboard, but other than that you can simply just play, but yeah, that's about it. So yeah, that's one thing I really didn't fully understand. So why is the mobile app so different from the desktop app? Why are the functions so different? Why are both kind of in the end incomplete? I mean, the UCI part I can understand, but that you can't do this via mobile app. But why does the desktop app then don't have analysis and puzzles, for example? Yeah, no idea. Yeah, I think that's also what I have to say about the desktop app. There is not so much functionality in. I wanted to show it mainly because it looks so different and because it has some functions that the mobile app doesn't have. Yeah, after showing you pretty much what I found out about the Chessnut, I think it's time to put a bit of a bow on it and wrap up our little review. So in summary, I was really positive surprised about the overall status of the project. I mean, it's Kickstarter. You expect the worst, you are pleasantly surprised if you get something that is semi-usable, and at the end, the Chessnut Air is really much more a finished product than a prototype. And the most important part is the mechanic works. It works. The position recognition works, the figure recognition works, and it's fun to play with the board. The software, yeah, I mean, what did we expect, right? So I think there's definitely, it's not that bad. I mean, the main function is there. There's a few things that are still missing, and it's just not that smooth yet. Yeah, the desktop software, I don't know. I mean, I guess they did it because there are certain functionality that they need to cover, like the UCI installation, but it's all just not so smooth, not so tied well together. And yeah, the packaging, we discussed about it. It's a bit of a miss. But that being said, I have not too much to complain about. And I'm pretty happy with my purchase. I think I will have a lot of fun playing on chess.com. So look me up on chess.com. I'm live sparring there without hyphen. Everything else is always with a hyphen. Very happy to play you guys and lose against you. But yeah, I think that's about it. If you are still thinking if you should get it, I think if the functionality is what you're looking for, if you just want to have a physical board that connects well to chess.com and to lead chess, then I think it's worth 99 US plus shipping. If you expect more than that, then it's your decision. But I think I would be able to recommend it. If somebody asked me, would you recommend it? I would say, yeah, for that purpose, pretty much. I like it. I'm happy with it. I hope you are too, if you backed it. And again, take a look at my podcast, take a look at my other videos. Very happy to see you again. Maybe when I'm not talking about chess even. But yeah, other than that, thank you for watching the video, for reading maybe the long review. And yeah, let's see you at the board and play some chess. I'm out.